Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, that was a little bit of an echo. Huh. Is that right? All right. Okay. So let me see. Thank you so much for being here first. Lydia Washington, or should I say a half hour ago? Let me see. Thado Magina. Thank you so much for being here. Caroline, Cookies and Cream, Bunny Rose, Brenda Gray, Janice Goodrich, Dorothy Ross. Good morning to you. All right. Okay. Let's oh, fancy. You weren't first today. That's okay. I'm glad you're here. Let me grab my slides. I still wasn't ready yet. And that means I was being messy. That usually means that I was up to something messy. Okay, slides are coming. I hate to say this again, but look at how smooth my skin looks. My, I look cute. I do. Let me see. How do you spell cute? I look cute. There we go. There, I put it in the chat. Cute. Okay. Those cheekbones are just flawless, aren't they? Okay. All right. Let me stop looking at myself for a minute and do that. Yes, I have recycled a thumbnail. I love when I do that. Saves a little time here and there. Okay. And voila. So, unfortunately, we have to start off with some very grim news, but I know a lot of people have been talking about it. So, we do have to acknowledge this. Unfortunately, there has been a massive flood, and the last time I seen anything like this, oh my goodness. Well, it happens from time to time, but the fact that so many people were caught off guard, this reminds me of the floods that they had in Spain. Although I think the ones in Spain may have been, oh, I don't know if it was any worse, but I think because it hits like more of an urban area. But this was very rural, I think. And anyway, there's, I believe, 27 um, girls that are missing, and um, or have I got that wrong? I think it's 27. Oh no, it's 27 confirmed deceased. And anyway, there are some girls missing. There was some type of camp. Um, and it's just very sad. It really is. Um, they suspected it may be possibly 50 people that have lost their lives because of this. And it just happened quite by surprise. It really caught people off guard. So we do need to pray for the families and such. Let's see, at least 50 people, including 15 children. Um, yeah, they suspected maybe about 50 people. Surged nearly 30 feet above normal height. And there was a children's summer camp. Um, yeah. So that did happen, and it's just really unfortunate. And of course, there are some people who want to play a bit of the blame game. Texas officials slam Trump's National Weather Service for botched forecasts. Now, I don't know if that is just a massive coincidence or is it a budget cut. It's too soon to talk about that, but that is what a lot of people are feeling right now, is that it may have had something to do with some very massive budget cuts. Um, but whatever it is, it's not going to bring those people back. Let's just hope that by some miracle they find everyone that is missing and unaccounted for still alive. I hope, I pray. But wow, this has been terrible. And the power that comes from a surge of water is something that is so fascinating. I can remember having a discussion with someone when they had that huge tsunami in Indonesia some time ago. And they were just like, I just cannot believe that water could do that. But I guess in some regards, water is the most powerful force on earth, the most powerful force. It's what shapes the world we live in. So, wow. Yeah, just a terrible thing. Yeah, Teddy, it is terrifying. It is terrifying. Hey, Cookies and Cream, thank you for being here. Now, there was a man that was looking for his daughter, and, he's still hoping that he can find his daughter alive. She's 21 years old. Um, and unfortunately, while he was looking for his daughter, he found some other victim. And of course, it was so surreal. He was like, I thought it was a mannequin, but it was a person. But then there have been some miracles. They found someone clinging to a tree. They found someone clinging to a street lamp or utility pole or whatever it was. So there have been some miracles, and let's pray that there are many more. But this is some good news, and thank you to the squatty who shared this with me. Heralding golden era of an AIDS-free generation. Yeah, an AIDS-free generation. And this is from Botswana. If you take a look there, congrats and big wow to Botswana, becomes first country in world to end mother to child transmission of HIV, beginning a whole golden era of an AIDS-free generation. In Bots, 95% of HIV peeps know their status. 95% know their status. I cannot get over that number because I guarantee you that most Americans do not know their status. Um, and it says here, of whom 98% are on ART treatment, 98% on treatments are virally suppressed. So, of course, that means that if they have it, the viral load is not enough to hurt another person. I believe it means that they are possibly able to test negative, but don't quote me on that. Do your own research because, I don't have all the facts. And as you know, we learn more every day. So there's a lot of good information out there. Also, you can always talk to your doctor if you have any more questions. But let's just congratulate them for their hard work. And I can't help but think that Cinta Ballet has had something to do with this, but it is not mentioned here. So I'm just going to go with what's in front of me. So let's give them some applause. All right. Okay, I think that was it. I think that was it. But yeah, that is great news. And the world can use some good news. Um, Speaking of good news, I am so glad that Harry and Meghan are thriving. They're not just surviving, they are thriving. And that is also good news. By the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. With love, Meghan. With love, Meghan. And let's not forget, as ever, as ever, these are the two big titles or names for 2025. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. Yeah, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. And ooh, and I'm feeling good. Yes, we're feeling good. Now, I went into the archives and I'm just like, how did we get here with the jam? Remember this? Megan's in a jam. Oh, they loved throwing that around, didn't they? Megan's in a jam. So much so that I think I've found several headlines that I've archived where they declared that Meghan was in a jam. Check this out. Just what is Meghan trying to hide after months of fruitless investigation? See how she worked that in there? Fruitless investigation. Carolyn Graham, the daughter of Dixie, she is, discovers a shocking new theory on what's really behind the Duchess's jam brand. Revealed, the factory where Meghan crafted raspberry jam is made 2,000 miles from Montecito. Bum, bum, bum. You don't say. A whole 2,000 miles from Montecito? A whole 2,000 miles from Montecito? I mean, I intellectually, I understand that that could be a worry for some people, but spiritually, I don't see what the fuss is, seeing that that appears to be the way business is done. I mean, what do you suggest? What are we supposed to do? Should we call the
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
should we call the police and bring it to the attention of law enforcement that Meghan lives on one side of the country and her product is manufactured someplace else? If this gets out, I wonder what the future of, I don't know, um, Apple, Apple computers. I mean, they're made someplace else. They were designed in California, but I believe the manufacturing takes place somewhere in China, thousands of miles away. I don't know if most people know that, but along with the Apple products, there's just about everything in the house. Just about everything in my house came from thousands of miles away. I don't know who to call the police on first. Lex says, I know Meghan isn't shady and is forgiving, but I am not. Katy Perry is separated. How goes it, Miss Kate? One. um, As usual, people are jealous and unhappy. Career sunk. Yes, and of course, oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. Let us not forget the trip into orbit debacle. Yeah, the not so much an astronaut trip that she took. I mean, it is really coming down on her now. The rain is just like coming down in buckets on her head. She is, her ship is sinking. Her dinghy has sprung a leak. Everything seems to be going wrong for her. Um, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Yeah. Well, anyway, um, maybe she's just not a girl's girl. Maybe that's what it is. She's not a girl's girl. Chef Sandy Love, thank you so much for the oh wait, did I get that wrong? Oh, where am I at? Here I am. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. Yeah, I accidentally checked the wrong one. Now, we love her, don't we? We're going to have to listen to it again, you guys. You know, we got to listen to it again. It was so great. And the squatties have been sharing this all over, which is great because we do need something to bring a little cheer every now and again. So, that being said, let me get this going here. All right. All right, as we buffer, and oh no, don't tell me I lost it. Oh, I cannot have lost that one. Oh, there it is.
Do you work for?
Nope, that's not it. Here we go.
Say a lot of people are saying, you know, why does it matter? This is a recipe, and it's just based on her own homemade jam. But it does send out a message. People think they're buying into the illusion of something crafted by royal hands or formerly royal hands. It's not quite as it seems.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think this is the gotcha moment that the press are hoping for. This is actually industry standard. To meet demand, she obviously has to outsource where it's manufactured. She can't set up a production line in her kitchen. But as I said, this is complete industry standard. If you look at Martha Stewart, she's had a whole career on building homemade products, food products, and also homeware products. And they're all manufactured in Pennsylvania while she lives in New York. So I don't see her anytime soon setting up a production line in her New York kitchen to meet demand. And even if you look at the Windsor Strawberry Reserve that's being sold on the Windsor website, that's not made in Windsor. Believe it or not, it's made elsewhere in factories around the UK. So yeah, this isn't the gotcha moment that people are hoping for. It's actually just a smart business move, really. And if she wants to be able to meet demand this time around and not sell out within a half an hour like she did the last time, this is the only way to do it.
Oh, you're being very charitable there. But what about the carbon footprint? Here's a couple that fly to the Google climate change conference, stand there barefoot, having flown on a private jet, and they're flying jam 2,000 miles across America. You're not telling me they could make that jam a little bit nearer to their Hollywood estate?
Well, the carbon footprint is actually every single business out there. If you look at all the businesses, large companies, all the ones that we know today, they all use manufacturing plants that aren't in the location where the product was created. So it's just industry standard. It happens. If we're looking at Meghan Markle with this fine tooth comb, that means we have to open it up and look at absolutely every single massive business in the world and ask, why are you producing it so far away from home? Shouldn't this be produced in your kitchen? What about the carbon footprint? You know, it can't be one rule for Meghan and then other rule for other global businesses.
Well, I think perhaps it can, because if you're sanctimonious about people's everyday carbon consumption, about we should all cut down on holidays, we should all be lean, green, and clean, and then you're flying jam jars 2,000 miles. I think those with glass houses or glass jam jars shouldn't throw stones.
Well, are you going to look into the carbon footprint of the Windsor Strawberry Reserve that is made elsewhere in the UK? We're flying that around the world. Lots of Americans buy that. More Americans buy that than people in the UK. So are we going to ask the Windsors what's going on there? Are they offsetting their carbon footprint?
Do you work for Alan? Do you work for Meghan Markle?
No, I don't. But what I am is a journalist, and I'm fair. And I like unbiased reporting. So that's what I base my reporting on. And I think that actually all the reporting on Meghan Markle has been very biased.
Say a lot of people.
Okay. So I have an update for you. Let me see here. Where is that update? She was there you go. She was on the what do you call it? She has an account on TikTok, and I'm going to share that little soundbite with you right now. While I get that together, just take a look at one of the ways they managed to taste test the various jams and preserves. You can see there on the left side, that is one of the taste tests. While I set this up. Oh boy, I tell you, but she just consumed him. Poor guy. That's the difference between a real journalist and whatever he is. Okay, let's do this.
Spending $1,000 on a wallet is a hefty price to pay.
Oh boy.
For a piece of luck.
Let's try this again. Let's try it again. Okay, here we go.
I've got the Hermes.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love on this video. I've been reading all the comments, and yeah, I'm feeling the love. I basically just done what every journalist should be doing. I'm not a Meghan Markle.
Okay, it's buffering.
Let
me try it again. You know that worked just fine earlier.
Spending it.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love on this video. I've been reading all the comments, and yeah, I'm feeling the love. I basically just done what every journalist should be doing. I'm not a Meghan Markle stan. You know, I don't have posters of her on my bedroom wall or anything. I'm just a journalist, and I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to report on her fairly. I obviously wasn't sure before going into this interview what was the standard in jam production. So I just researched it. I had a look online, and I just wanted to see what was industry standard to make jam and to meet demand. And outsourcing it to a manufacturing plant is normal. Like, it is so normal. Every single business in the world does that. All of your favorite celebrities, they're not making things themselves. Kim Kardashian is not knitting knickers and bras herself at home. Like, she has a manufacturing plant to do it, but she's the brains behind the brand. It's the exact same thing that Meghan Markle is doing, but she's just held to a different standard for some reason. And exactly this comment, if she had made it in her kitchen, there would be uproar about how unsanitary it is. And there would be questions why she's not using a manufacturing plant when she was inevitably unable to meet demand. And there would be thousands of articles complaining about customers not getting their products, which is what we're already seeing with the wine. Now, regardless of what you feel personally about Meghan, you might like her, you might be indifferent about her, or you might love her. But one thing is undeniable. The way she's being covered in the press is deeply unbalanced and it's extremely harsh. All you have to do is open your eyes and go online, type in Meghan Markle and look at the article headlines that come up. The way she's covered, no other celebrity in the world has been covered like that at the moment, and no other member of the royal family has been covered like that, besides Harry probably. So I just think the state of journalism today has completely lost its integrity and its fairness. And it's the number one rule that we learn as journalists when we go do our master's degrees, is that we need to be balanced. We need to be fair. And for some reason, that has just been thrown out the window with Meghan. Now, I do believe it's probably because hate sells more papers, and Meghan Markle sells a lot of papers. So just her name alone, she is very popular. She'll get loads of clicks and she'll make the papers a lot of money. So pairing those two things together, hate and Meghan Markle, seems to be very profitable. And Meghan Markle even said herself, she doesn't need everybody to love her. She doesn't care if people hate her. But the press is starting to feel like relentless and bullying at this point. And yeah, like I said, there's no other celebrity who gets this. I think Princess Diana probably got this level of hate in the press until she died, of course, and then she was loved. Anyway, just one last thing from me. I just want to put out there that I'm not a Meghan Markle stan. I don't have pictures of her on my bedroom wall. I don't think of her regularly. I'm Irish. So the royal family, I'm quite indifferent to in general. I don't hate them, but I also don't love them. I don't think about them very often, but I'm indifferent to them. So it's not as if I'm out here trying to promote Meghan Markle in any way, and I definitely don't work for her like he suggested. I'm just trying to do what's fair and what's right as a journalist. If it wasn't Meghan Markle and it was somebody else, I would just be doing the exact same thing. If she was on the Epstein files, by God, I would be doing the negative stories. I would be calling her out and I would be there. But the woman is making jam. Guys, thank you so
much. Okay. So, little weird ending, but, well, you know, sometimes when you don't have prepared remarks, it can go south at the end. But she made her point. And as she said, this is what they teach you in journalism school, right? But the thing is, you take a look at my favorite pie charts and you can see that the UK journalists, what do you have there? 84% of them are from a higher socioeconomic background. And as for the, what do you call it? The 16%, those are the lower and middle socioeconomic background. And then if you look at the editors, 73% come from the upper crust and 27% are, you know, more working class backgrounds. And if you combine those, you know, even if you don't combine them, it doesn't matter. It still says that most people would never identify with the common working person, let alone a person of color. Out of all of the people that report on the Duchess of Sussex, overwhelmingly, they're mostly white. They're mostly British. In terms of the tabloid newspapers, anything out of the UK. And then, of course, there is the influence of the British tabloid media here in the US. It's like a lot of them decide, okay, I want to make the big bucks. So they come over to the US and they bring that brand of tabloid media with them, tabloid newspapers, gossip rags. I mean, look at the New York Post. Look at the Page Six, which I think that originated from the New York Post. Look at what they've done to Newsweek. And it goes on and on. They have become just common gossip rags. Newsweek. Newsweek was on par with Time Magazine at one point. The Time Warner Group, Time and Life magazine. Newsweek was right on par with the weekly national and international news. And now it is a tawdry gossip rag. It's not fit to wrap up a fish. It's a very unfortunate change, which is why so many people have turned to social media. No one trusts the legacy media as they would have in the past. You just can't. Newsrooms have been under siege. We've had some great newspapers here in the U.S. The civil rights movement, it would not have been the same without the some of these newspapers, some of these big city newspapers, even some small town newspapers. It was a time when you could really admire a journalist for reporting the truth, sticking their neck out on the line. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid growing up, it seemed like the news was just more fair. Now it's all over the place, but mostly it's just very, very right wing, and it's very negative. Everything is I gotcha. Okay, let me get back over here. And as ever, it is top drawer. As you can see, it has performed very well against all of those other brands, including the one from France that I love so much. You can see it peeking around the right side of the jar there. I still purchase that brand, by the way, and it cost almost $8 in the grocery store, but it's definitely worth it. Do you work for Meghan Markle? This guy, oh, it was hard to watch. It was so hard to watch. I mean, he was just really out of his league. And the only reason why he was like crumbling and falling apart was just that he did not have truth on his side. He did not have truth on his side. He had a bunch of talking points. He tried to rely upon talking points, and that was his undoing. So, hey, Martine, thank you so much for being here. Glad you're here. Let's see, who else is here? Perlina Answer? Okay. All right, just looking to see who else is here. Let's see, Hilda's girl, good morning to you too. Bunny Rose, Mary H, and Marshard, thank you for being here. Now, we taste tested Meghan Markle as ever jam, honey, and flower sprinkles. One word kept coming up, and that was good, excellent, great. Those words. And then take a look there on the left. Fans are baffled after noticing very perplexing detail about Meghan Markle's new jam packaging. Huh? Or how about this? There we go again. Meghan's in a jam. Now this one right here is so typical, so common. Me first, Meghan is in a situation stickier than Huckleberry jelly. Kate's tragic cancer news now means American Riviera orchard must wither on the vine, or else the Duchess risks looking like an unfeeling Vice Countess of Venom. Really? Really? They tried so desperately. I forgot about that one, but they tried so desperately to derail um 2025 for Megan. They really did. They thought that they were going to use well, actually, that article is from 2024, but they thought they were going to use Kate's situation and King Charles' situation, and of course, we've had other things like the LA fires, and most recently the oh gosh, the whole thing with ICE, and of course that delayed the gala that we were hoping for. There's always something that comes up, and every time they expect Megan to just put the brakes on everything she's trying to do, everything she wants to achieve. That to me is going to wear very thin. Now, I do not dispute the caution that Megan and also Netflix has taken. Um, it could be very bad for PR to, you know, carry on in certain situations, but I think that the press just takes too much glee from it. They really do get such a kick out of it. It's like they're almost counting on bad news. Remember, they wanted to use Mumbles to make M wait for her business in 2024. M doesn't answer them. Let me see. They still are trying to control the narrative, and Megan isn't taxpayer funded. Yes, Megan's not taxpayer funded. But yeah, they keep doing it. They keep trying it. Megan shows no respect for the monarchy and those in it by launching her jam and tablecloth stalls when Princess Diana's Memorial Awards charity and the late Queen saw it coming. Has Harry had a say? Harry never has a say. It's always what Megan wants. After all, Megan she's a Hollywood actress and she's used to having her way. Does she want to come to the UK purely for selling her goods? Oh man, it's been so long since I've done my Angela Levin. But does she want to come to the UK to sell her goods? Oh, that was petty. That was absolutely low. That was very lowbrow. But look again, Megan's in a jam. Megan's in another jam. How many jams have Megan been in? Now, this jam at the top, let me see, what was that one about? That one had something to do with the American Riviera Orchard logo. And then the bottom one, let me see, Megan's brand trouble. Netflix could step in to help run American Riviera Orchard after Duchess failed to find a CEO despite wide search. A streaming giant also plots new show and looks to US TV couple for inspiration. I mean, that was so long ago. I pretty much forgot what that was about, but so yeah, so that's one, two, three. Where is it? Yeah, four. Those were four occasions when they could not help but play on that dull cliche in a jam. Oh man. Never resist it. Never avoid an opportunity to be so obvious, I suppose. And of course, this one is even worse. Actually, there's two. This is a twofer. It's two for one. Okay, here comes the eye roll. Jar Wars, as in Star Wars. Or how about preserve you right, Megan, instead of deserve you right? Oh my God. Who makes up this stuff? And of course, we know that was that day that Kate offered her jam recipe for free. And then Meghan Markle snub UK as Duchess launches jam and flower sprinkles on new website. That was the sobering reality that the products will not be sold anywhere outside of the United States. And of course, instead of saying that it was only in the US, they were really only thinking about the fact that it was not on sale in the UK. Meghan Markle snubs UK as Duchess launches jam and flower sprinkles on new website. Meghan Markle snubbed the UK as the Duchess of Sussex launched jam and flower sprinkles on her new website. The mother of two officially launched her lifestyle brand as ever today, coinciding with the premiere of her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. Yeah, that's how she did it. And so what? It's called business. And then this, I almost forgot about this, but remember, if you live here, know that there is a whole lot of famous jam near you, or was as it's shipping out. This was when they were desperately trying to figure out where the jam was, how was it being shipped, where was it made, and all that kind of stuff. That was part of the process. I mean, this is just beyond the pale. It's just bizarre. The obsession over jam. It is bizarre. And I think these people really need to seek some help. Yes, get some help. You know who you are. Get some help. And Meghan is accused of using marketing ploy so as ever range sells out minutes after going live, including $15 flower sprinkle. You leave my flower sprinkles alone. I needed those. Every day, I have been feeling very empty trying to figure out what is missing from my life. Now I know it was flower sprinkles. What they just don't understand is whatever she's selling, I'm going to buy it. And I know a lot of people are going to buy it because we support our Duchess of Sussex. And of course, we trust Meghan to curate some amazing products that are definitely curated with quality in mind. So it's a given. It's just a given. You know, we're not a monolith. Not everybody's going to like everything, but you know, if we can give this a try or give that a try, we're going to give our Duchess of Sussex a try. That's all to it. Which, by the way, I just made another batch of those delicious cookies, and I promise you, it's like a stick of butter in every bite. I don't know what it is about it, but it just fills your mouth with flavor. It's like a stick of butter in every bite. Delicious. And also, of course, I put some jam and made like those thumb cookies like she made. So there you have it. Matter of fact, I think I want to do this. Where is this? No, that one's from yesterday. Oh, there it is. That one right there. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Uh, they're just consumed with jealousy and envy and the panic that despite their best efforts, they are going to sit back and slowly watch the Sussexes creep into billionaire status with some finely crafted, curated, bespoke products uh, created, inspired, launched, approved by the Duchess of Sussex. And there is nothing that they can do about it. What a sinister laugh. And of course, the wine sold out. By the way, that is going to ship very soon. Oh, did I get a notice that it shipped today? I can't recall. I know they said on the 9th, but whatever. I cannot wait. I am going to go get some brie. I always keep olives, but I got to get some brie, and there's a few things that I want to pair with my wine, and it is going to be fantastic. And of course, this is how I envision our Duchess in her garden, looking at all of the fruit and vegetables that are growing and finding inspiration at every turn. That's the way I pictured it. And of course, Harry, who is as pleased as punch, glad to be in California, away from that dog eat consort, um, dog eat queen consort environment that he left behind. Now, I noticed today that William and Kate stronger than ever. They are stronger than ever, you guys, according to In Touch magazine. And it wasn't that long ago. I think it was around, what was it, Trooping the Color last year, that they were more in love than ever, especially after someone gave them the cue. Now, don't forget to look at each other. Right. Try to grin a little harder. Try to force that grin. That's it, Kate. Perfect. Yes, we got it. We got it. We all know this is contrived. When they have an outing, they don't even stand that close to each other, right? There have been a many a times where they have separated themselves with the children. And of course, there's all of these iconic photographic memories, photographical. Now, Instagrammable, that's what I'm looking for. All of these Instagrammable moments that they have, which are so orchestrated. Nobody believes that it comes natural, especially after that very awkward day. You know, when they were in the woods and jumping over logs and on the beach, remember that day where they had like several costume changes, even though they were supposed to spontaneously be out in nature? That was so awkward. Even the royal reporters were like, please never do that again. Even the royal reporters called them out because of how uncomfortable and how awkward the whole thing appeared. And it was so uncomfortable to witness. And it's just like, please never do that again. Especially where William is like, oh, I can't even describe it. But you know, the one where the kids were like very embarrassed. They weren't sure what was going on. Pretty soon, the kids are going to start thinking that they actually live together, allegedly. Let me see. The what? The photo on the left? is midway him basically well, I do recall, was that no, that was when they were going to meet the Korean president where William was picking at the door trim or something. But they always look like they're at odds with each other. Always. It's very rare, especially when they're in the car. They don't even talk to each other. They just sit there like robots. I guess that's the protocol, is that you don't even look at one another. God, who wants to live that life? That is wrong on so many levels. It really is. But that's what Meghan, not Meghan, that's what Kate fought 10 years to achieve for herself. 10 years she fought to get into that family. 10 years she was, for lack of a better word, stalking William. 10 years. And after over 20 years of being around that family, she still cannot even speak, let alone perform her duty without looking like she's all slumped over and full of anxiety and fear. And it's hard to watch her sometimes. It's either that or she's laughing uncontrollably. Poor thing. Let me see. Marles, is it Marles G? Good morning to you. Now, this article from today, Kate Middleton borrows Meghan Markle's signature Wimbledon style for her latest royal engagement. The secret to dressing like a duchess is Ralph Lauren. Kate is wearing an American designer? Shut the front door. Both Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle are known for their fashion choices, which continue to be emulated by people around the globe. It would also appear as though Princess Kate has drawn inspiration from Duchess Meghan's wardrobe. While this isn't the first time the two royals have worn the same brand, the Duchess of Sussex's American fashion staple seems to have started inspiring the royal family across the pond. If Meghan dressed like an Inuit tribal leader, Kate would think that was the thing to do too. If Meghan dressed like the wild man of Borneo, Kate would think that was the thing to do. If Meghan decided, you know what, I'm feeling like a geisha this week, Kate will do the same thing too. It does not matter. She's going to follow Meghan wherever she goes. Wherever she goes, she's going to follow her. And that's one of my one of my favorite photos is the one there on the right side where Kate has her notebook out and she is jotting down a few pointers on how to dress. As we all suspected. As a matter of fact, it's been a while, hasn't it? I hate to compare, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway.
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you were really winding me up now. Yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
It sure is. It sure is. That's who's speaking to the younger generation. And we just hate to compare. I hate it. I don't like doing that. I don't. Oh, check that out. The Sussex Soldier. You know what? Someone woke up today and chose war. And I think it was the Sussex Soldier. As you can see right here, it says the blueprint. When you look at mumbles and listen to the mumble salad that comes out of her mouth, it helps you understand even more why they asked this beautiful woman to be 50% of herself, because they know that copycat mumble is 52%, and that doesn't have the capacity to be 100%. Well, I mean, no lies detected, that's for sure. And then, of course, her battery capacity only reaches 52%. It doesn't go higher, no matter how long you keep it plugged in for 2 decades. I think we're speaking of the 2 decades she's been around that family. Anyway, I'm happy that Meghan is 100%. Meghan today thriving, and she will never limit herself so that the mumble mediocre 52% copycat can shine. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be mediocre. But yeah, there you have it. They asked Meghan to be 50%. They were trying to get her to tone down. And what was so strange about that is that Meghan had only been seen a handful of times. She was on maternity leave, I believe. And even though Meghan had been seen like maybe a handful of times, if that much, within a 4-month period, they wrote and speculated and lied. It was a constant murmur from the tabloid media. Everything from Doria moving in to the yoga studio and the floating floor, the cast iron bathroom or bathtub or whatever. It was nonstop every day. And I tell you, for a lot of people in the Sussex squad, that was a very dark period because we were not seeing Meghan. She had kind of just disappeared. And the only thing that we had was the constant negative drip, drip, drip from the tabloid media. It was a very rough time. And so you could imagine when they decided, you know what, we're out of here. We're leaving. We're going to step down. That had to be absolutely terrifying for Harry, having been a part of this cult-like atmosphere his entire life. But he did it. He managed to break free. And there are so many people who have actually been in a real cult, and they look at the institution, they look at the firm, and there's so many boxes that you could just check up and down the page where there are certain things that seem almost identical to someone who has escaped a very rigid, rigorous, planned out life in some religious order somewhere. All the hallmarks are there. So much of it is identical. And I don't think we give Harriet credit enough for the fact that he walked away from that. Not that he walked away from comfort and such. He didn't care about that stuff. He'd rather be someplace crapping in the woods than to be with that family. But his grandmother was still alive, and there wasn't much else that meant anything to him besides serving the Queen until he got married, until he became a father. And once he got married and once he became a father, there was nothing that was going to hold him back, not even the Queen. And that had to be incredibly, incredibly stressful. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And especially, you won't expect to get any credit for him from the media. Most of them have already made up their minds about it, or they pretend they play ignorant so that they don't have to acknowledge the truth. But that right there, that was a tremendous amount of pressure to leave that situation. And it's not about, oh well, he's rich, and that has nothing to do with it. Where that kind of constant control. I mean, think about it. This is the family that has been in power to some degree or another for 1,000 years. That institution has been around 1,000 years. That's the same institution that gave the green light to the transatlantic slave trade, the conquest of India, the conquest of Africa, Asia, Australia, mind control, gaslighting. They're expert at that. Expert. They've been doing it for 1,000 years. And in all that time, there have been very few that have stepped away. Look at poor Margaret. Margaret was like able to be with the man she loved. But when she thought she was going to lose her privilege, she's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'll find someone else. Sorry, group captain. I'm staying here. People hate you for one of three reasons. They hate themselves, they want to be you, or they see you as a threat. Again, Sussex soldier woke up this morning and chose war. They chose the battle. Henrietta Phillips chose a super sticker. Thank you so much for that. And thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Again, much appreciation to Sussex Soldier for choosing war. Her battery capacity only reaches 52%. It doesn't go higher, no matter how long you keep it plugged in for 2 decades. Anyway, I'm happy that Meghan is 100%. Meghan today thriving, and she will never limit herself so that the mumble, mediocre copycat can shine. Why do I feel like I've missed something here? Wait a minute. Let me go and check that. I think I did that one twice. It'll only take me a second to sort that out. How did I do that? Oh no. She put that twice. Okay. Yeah. She put that twice. So there we go. No. Let me get, and by the way, if you take a look there, you can see the famous blue dress that Meghan wore to the NAACP. I tell you, if there's any situation with the copycat that gets under my skin, it is this one. This is the one where I'm actually not very happy, if you understand what I'm saying. This is the one. This is the one. Let me see. Yeah, I can't say, but this one really rubbed me the wrong way. To see that grinning hyena sitting at the piano like it's a big joke, and that was done deliberately. That was absolutely deliberate. That was mocking. That was to intimidate, a demonstration of the reach that they have. But of course, they can only demonstrate it. They could never speak it. You know what I'm saying? If you understand, they can only say what they need to say through visual cues. But if you ever asked them to explain how they feel, they couldn't do that, which, you know, is very different from the majority of the population. Matter of fact, that pretty much sets them apart from most most adults. As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing if you can't verbalize your way into an explanation. If you can't say it, then you really can't feel it. You must say it. You must speak it. I told you something about that dress. Out of all the copy stuff, that is the one that rubs me the wrong way. So I think I'm just going to move on before I say the wrong thing, because that really, really bothered me. As a matter of fact, to be fair, I think we need to reach out to Kensington Palace for comment, and let's hear their side of the story.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously on to this day, and you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a full family. The members who a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot to this day, and you know, going forward and things. To this day, and you know, going forward and things. To this day, and you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and you know, very inspirational. And you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and you know, very inspirational. And you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot this day, and you know, going forward and things. You know, it is, you know, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and you know, very inspirational. So. Yeah, I do.
Ooh. Well, we finally got there sooner or later. I knew we'd get there. You have to go through a whole lot of word salad to get. That was a big salad. That was a big salad. You almost have to eat it with a shovel. You almost have to eat it with a shovel. That's how big that salad was. Oh. Oh my goodness, my screen is messing up. Oh, are you guys able to hear me? Uh-oh. Are you all able to hear me? Because I cannot see a thing. My screen has gone blank. Oh, my computer. It's, you know what? I think it's my computer. Oh, let me see. See what I get for making fun of people? going forward in this day, and oh man. Uh-oh. I hope you all can hear me because I cannot see a flipping thing. Oh boy. Let me see. How do I get out of this one? Oh boy. My screen is blank. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my screen is blank. I should not have been playing with that button like that. Going forward and to this day and such. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. So someone says they can hear me. Oh, you can hear me. But you cannot see me. So someone says they can hear me. Oh, you can hear me. So let's see if the screen. Oh man. All of my. I hope I have not burned out this computer. Let me see. Oh, and the computer is nice and hot too. Let me see. Well, I am going to try to get my screen back up here. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But, all right. So you can hear me, but you cannot see me. So, well, I have no way to know what you can see on the screen. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I got a message about a newer version of the StreamYard that I would need to update, and I have not updated yet. So, all right, this is a little complicated because no, I don't think that's it though. This is so strange. But I see that the screen, I'm looking at my phone, I see the screen is blank for you all. So, going forward and this day, and I wonder if it was MI6 that got me. Oh Lord, Kensington Palace thing got me. Oh man, how do I fix this? Maybe I can't. Maybe I cannot. But I'm gonna try. Must be something I could do. I mean, it is a blank screen. It's like all of my what do you call it? My oh, it is the uh-oh. Wait. Okay, I see something. Let me see here. I see something. Oh. Okay. Will this work? Let me see. It looks like this calls for a reboot, but if I do a reboot, I think I will lose you. So, oh man, Kate Middleton didn't put the jinx on my doggone computer. Well, it looks like the chrome is still chroming, right? So I don't want to do anything to that. But I cannot see a thing. It's like plain blank white. Oh, come on. I saw you trying to do something. What's that? Hit the escape? Okay. All right, I just escaped. That didn't work. You know, the only thing I could think of is to do a reboot. Now, if I do a reboot, I might lose you all, but that's the only way we're going to know. I mean, my screen is just plain white. Plain white. I have nothing. Yeah, going forward and to this day and okay, you guys, I am going to do a reboot. I think that is the only option is a reboot. If it does not work, then I will see you all tomorrow. That's the only thing I can think of. So I will say, okay, my WhatsApp and everything is working. Let me see what else works. And my my iOS is working. It's just my Google Chrome is not chroming. My Chrome is not chroming. Oh man, and I had something really funny to share too. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna reboot. If it doesn't work, I will see you all tomorrow. But if you're still here, I will see you in a minute, okay? All right, restart. And we're back on the air. Wow. So that worked. That really worked. I'm assuming that you all can hear me. But yeah, that really worked. I cannot believe it. I did a complete reboot and I came back and you guys appear to still be here. So All I have to do is just bring my slides back up. I know. I cannot believe it. That really worked. My screen had went completely white. It was so white. It's like that pale look that a person gets when they run into Camila down the end of a dark alley. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine if you were in a dark alley and all of a sudden Queen Camilla jumped out. Could you imagine how ashy and white and pale you could look? Even Wesley Snipes would look pale in comparison. So oh man, that was so funny. I couldn't believe that. So, studio instability issues, the latest version of some browsers, for example, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, seem to have introduced a conflict that is causing studio instability when using virtual background or touch up for appearance feature. As a temporary workaround, we suggest turning off those features while we work on a fix. Our engineers are actively working to ensure support for your conflicting browser version. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that's from StreamYard or not. I don't want to put StreamYard down. I don't know what that was, but everything just went blank. But who cares about that? Who cares about all that? Who shot John? Because we're back. And now, if only I could remember what in the world was I talking about? Was I down here? Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope, nope. I think I was here, right? So, Kate Middleton mannequin comments prompt sales boost for British author. I'd never heard this before, but Hilary Mantel, I mean, I've heard about, her referring to Kate as mannequin, but I never heard the part about her book sales increasing. Apparently, those comments about Kate brought a lot of interest to the book she was working on. Hilary Mantel novel has risen on the book charts after she likened the Duchess of Cambridge to a shop window mannequin with a plastic smile. British author Hilary Mantel's novel have received a sales boost since she criticized Kate Middleton earlier this month. Remarks made by the Man Booker Prize winner, the first female to do so twice in a row, caused controversy that brought Prime Minister David Cameron to Middleton's defense while simultaneously generating interest in her novel. Now, you know what? With all of the comparisons that has been made about Meghan, do you all recall David Cameron or any of the British prime ministers defending Meghan? Anybody? I mean, just to think of some of the things that Meghan, even while she was over there, think of some of the things that was said about the Duchess of Sussex. And nobody raised a finger. Nobody tried in any way to defend her, especially the British Prime Minister. David Cameron, not even in office anymore, could have said something. There was that petition, was it, that was signed by all of the MPs. That was courageous and commendable. But aside from that, nothing. Least of all, the British royal family. Not one time has anyone in that family tried to defend Meghan. And that is why there's this overwhelming need to try to drag her down with as much negativity as possible. Because if the right person ever asked the question, did anyone in the royal family say anything to try to help? Of course, the answer is no, but they need to try to create Meghan as a monster. They want to recreate her as a monster so that it would appear as though she didn't deserve anyone to defend her. But Kate, the English Rose, of course they have to defend her. Someone accused her of having Botox, defense. Someone accused her of wearing wigs or hairpieces, defense. Those are the things they have defended, among other things. Even those photos from the skiing trip has caused William to publicly say he's evaluating whether or not to sue. At a lecture at the British Museum titled Royal Bodies, Mantle called the Duchess of Cambridge a shop window mannequin with no personality of her own, entirely defined by what she wore. With a plastic smile and as painfully thin as anyone could wish, without quirks, without oddities, without the risk of emergence of character, the remarks prompted a firestorm of media attention and led the prime minister to call them completely misguided. What a vigorous defense. So, Sussex soldier who woke up today and chose war said, remember the late Hilary Mantel. She didn't lie when she called Kate Middleton a shop window mannequin with no personality of her own. You can see it today clearly in how Kate is not only copying Meghan's style, she also copying Meghan's actions and Meghan's words. Well, she copies the words, she just doesn't speak them. They have to, write about it in a, in a magazine. Now, normally at this point, I would reach out to Kensington. I would reach out to Kensington Palace for comment, but I think we better leave Kensington Palace alone because they might be kind of cross with me. So we're not going to reach out to Kensington Palace for comment. Not today and maybe not even next week or tomorrow. We're going to just leave Kensington Palace alone. Shit. We ain't messing with Kensington Palace. You dig? We're going to leave Kensington Palace alone for a little while because the last time I reached out to them for comment, all hell broke loose. So I won't be taking any comments from Kensington Palace today. I don't have enough courage to take another comment from Kensington Palace. Don Hanson, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for reaching out. I'm not reaching out. Listen to me. You see how nervous I am? I'm still trying to reach out to Kensington Palace. Thank you for thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Man, thank you for your patience while I sorted out my issues. Yeah. If anybody asks you, I am not even interested in reaching out to Kensington Palace today. Let me see. If you take a look here, now here is the best evidence that I can find of Kate being very much the mannequin. At first, I thought it was just, a gross exaggeration. But as you can see from this real life, this is not AI. This is a real photo of William and Kate. I think this was when they first started dating. As you can see, it's as though he just grabbed her out of a shop window and I haven't figured out the motorcycle yet. I think that's just a prop. But you can see he just grabbed her right out of a shop window and took her uh, to a movie. Yeah, there you go. Again from Sussex Soldier, the Duchess of Sussex shopped, or should I say, stopped giving her father money after royal wedding. This is another revelation that you guys, it takes a village. It really takes a village. And that's why I say, I don't do it every time, but I try to do it as much as possible. It really is important to give credit to other members of the Sussex squad, people who have almost a photographic memory and also have a pile of receipts that we can defer to, like this one. The new papers submitted to the High Court delve further into the breakdown of Meghan's relationship with Thomas Markle. So, Sussex Soldier is sharing with us. She said, "What the British royal family media and their mouthpieces do not parrot because it does not fit the Meghan character they are selling. It was Meghan who was giving Thomas money, not Samantha, not Thomas Jr. It was Meghan who was taking care of Thomas's health, not Samantha or Thomas Jr." At this point, I have to say it has been alleged. The return of their father's life the return to their father's life after Meghan met Prince Harry, Scammy even changed her last name back to Markle. If you guys remember that, she was Samantha Grant. And when she figured that it was a way to cash in, allegedly, she quickly went back to Markle. She hadn't been Grant for years. Markle for years, but she saw that that was a very bankable name, they say, allegedly. They returned to their father's life after Meghan met Prince Harry. Scammy even changed her name back to Markle. Meghan was a good daughter to Thomas. She took care of him until he betrayed her for money. They returned to their father's life after Meghan met Prince Harry. Oh, did I do that twice? Okay. Yeah, I did that twice. Sorry about that. Yeah, I did that myself. So you see, everything is not as they would have you believe. Meghan obviously took great care of her father, and I wouldn't expect her to do anything less. The fact that Meghan has not have responded to all of the accusations is because she doesn't have to, and she's not going to until she's ready to do it. Because to respond would be in as much as talking directly to Thomas Markle Sr., and she's not ready to do that either. He is a very disturbed person. And honestly, I don't know what his sensibilities are, but the tabloid media has sold so many people on this idea that in some kind of way he has been abused when he appears to be the abuser, I will allege. He appears to be the abuser. He has been very abusive. Even if I didn't allege, we do know that he was in cahoots with the newspapers. He went on Australian television and made some very wild accusations, and he did a lot of name dropping. And if I recall, I believe one of the names that was dropped went on to ask for a restraining order against Thomas Markle Sr. And if that's not enough, and listen, you guys, when I say this, I really mean it. I thank you not to mention any of those shady content creators, the haters, because I don't want to give them any oxygen. They do enough as it is. But there is a lot of bad blood with the YouTubers that are very anti Meghan, very anti Sussex. One of the things that they're not is pro royal family. They only mention royal family in passing. There is no vigorous promotion of what the royal family is saying or doing, and they don't cover the royal family in any way that is significant. They just don't. When the Sussexes go on the road, it's all we talk about. But when the other royals go on the road, it is a very tepid acknowledgement of their travel and very little else. It's almost as though it hasn't happened. It's not room for celebration. So they have some problems on the other side. And I mean, terrible problems where this one's not talking to this one and this one. They try to collaborate with each other. They try to get into these little sessions where they, you know, plot and scheme against Harry and Meghan. And then at some point, they have a falling out. They're at odds with each other. It is breathtaking. But I actually heard one of them say that there's no disagreement, there's no dissension, there's no animosity amongst the Sussex squad. They're very unified over at the Sussex squad. I mean, you know what? I got very proud when I heard that, especially the person who said it, the deranger who said it, the hate channel that said that. I mean, they have come up with some very wild stories, but that one, no lies detected. They defend everything the royals do, but they never celebrate. They don't really take pride in the royal family because they're not there for the royal family. We all know that. They're there for the clickbait. They're there because they already have some right-wing agenda. They're either people that voted for Trump or they voted for Brexit or they're just right-wing from start to finish. I have gone into some of the Twitter accounts. I've even gone into some that have blocked me. I have to use my burner account to do that. And I see all of these very ultra right-wing tweets. Everything. And another common pattern is their disdain for Black women. Any Black woman. A complete, utter disdain for Black women. Very common thread amongst those people. They love Nigel Farage. They love Marie Le Pen, you know, and anyone else that leans in that direction. Boris Johnson. It doesn't matter that that their benefits have been stripped away, that they're losing access to services from whatever government. They don't care about that because their need to hate is so much greater. It really is breathtaking. But that the content creators do not get along. They are constantly plotting against each other. It's almost like I'm watching an episode of Dynasty. It's like I'm watching the housewives of Buckleberry. They would do anything to pull each other down. Yeah, I had my eyes open for me. They've been doxing each other. At least that's what they say. I don't know if I believe everything that they say, but they are more afraid of the other hater content creators. They're more afraid of them than they are afraid of the Sussex Squad. And that's because we don't bother them. We don't bother those people. They are more afraid of each other. The like minded people, they're more afraid of them. They're more prone to have these falling out and disagreements with each other and not with anyone from the Sussex Squad. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad that they leave us out of that. And they can't even, and this was the big question. Is there a Meghan fatigue? Because they're not making as much money as they used to. They're just not. Because it has gotten old. They use the tabloids to recycle the same talking points, the same hatred. And it just doesn't fly the way it used to. Not to mention that there is a saturation when it comes to that type of content. And so they are constantly trying to pull each other down so that they can get ahead. I'm glad for it. I am so glad for it. I mean, it's like, let me pop some popcorn. Yeah, and I'm just like, I would have a bit of respect for them if they actually felt something for the royal family, if they uplifted and celebrated the royal family. And there's one particular talking point that they use over and over again, and I'm going to share that with you. The professor, and I'm not talking about Tim Wilson, I'm talking about the other professor from TikTok. The professor spoke about that one particular talking point that they love to throw into our faces as if that is going to be what destroys us. That is what's going to finally put the Sussex Squad in their place. That talking point. Let me see, I'm in UK and I have always supported Diana. I met her several times at a charity. I've followed Harry and then Meghan and their beautiful family. Oh, thank you so much for that. Is it Fenelon? Fenelon. Oh, that's a pretty name. That's interesting. Let me see. Three seats. Well, I don't think Thomas Markle is so large. I think he only needed 3 seats because, he's got that weird leg. You know how that leg needs that leg needs space. He's got that weird leg thing going on. So that's why he would need an extra seat on the plane so that he can, have that little awkward angle to his leg. He suffers from a condition called Yeti. Yeah, he has that Yeti syndrome, and that is the reason why he would need another seat, is so that he can, do that thing he does with his leg. You see, here's that he has it's a rare gene that causes that, where one of the legs tend to bow out at the least opportune moment when you least expect it. And there were even witnesses who saw him exiting Kensington Palace one day, and there he was. It's almost like he's doing a stanky leg. See, he always had that leg kind of turned in a very awkward way, so that's why he needs 3 seats. One for his plastic bags, one for him, and then another one for that awkward angle that he has with that gimpy leg. Oh man. Yeah, that's what does it. That's what does it. You know you're living wrong when your leg starts going like that. Let me see if I can find another example. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the original one. This is when I first realized that he had a problem. That was when I first noticed it. And then there was this very unusual, I would say, resemblance. Let me see here. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, people began to compare him. They began to compare him to the Yeti. There it is right there. You see there? And I promise you, if medical science and some good anthropologists or archaeologists ever get a hold of a vial of his blood, I am certain that we will have the missing link, that which connects us to a very primitive species called the Yeti. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I am convinced of it. Anyway, the professor, there you go. Would you rather be? As I said, it's that one thing that they love to throw into everybody's face. Well, the Sussex squad. There we go. Sorry about the echo, but the Sussex squad, they love to throw this at us. Let me find that for you, for your consideration. The professor is coming up.
And really think about it. Let me ask you something. And really think about it. If you had to choose, if the crown was placed before you, velvet and gold, gleaming with centuries of power and privilege, would you take it? Would you choose to be Queen of England? Would you choose the palaces, the tiaras, the private jets and the royal estates, the honor guards, the designer gowns, the legacy? Because royalists love to throw that around like it's the ultimate prize. She's going to be queen, they say about Kate, as if that alone justifies everything. The silence, the sacrifice, the scrutiny, as if becoming queen is worth erasing who you are. As if that title is some kind of holy grail for womanhood. But let's tell the truth. Being queen isn't freedom. It's a contract, a gilded performance, a life dictated by tradition, protocol, NPR. You don't get to have a bad day. You don't get to make mistakes. You don't even get to speak for yourself because the palace does it for you. And then there's the press, the royal rota, The British tabloid machine that feeds off your image until there's nothing left but bones. They will build you up just to break you down and call it national duty. One misstep, one look too long, one word too bold, and you're the next headline. Not a woman, not a wife, just copy for their daily outrage. So again, would you take the crown? Or would you walk away from it all? No titles, no rank, but also no muzzle, no surveillance, no constant pressure to smile through the betrayal. Because the real question isn't who wouldn't want to be queen. It's why do they want that so badly if it costs them everything? Would you trade your freedom just to be someone else's idea of a queen? Let that sit. What's your answer?
Okay, so that's the professor I was speaking about. Now, he is quite the wordsmith, and I'm always amazed at the things that he say, and that he does this on a daily basis. He's able to articulate in a way like very few can, and on a daily basis. I don't know what his background is, but it's very impressive. Would you rather? Would you rather? Would you rather this or that? Would you really want that crown? They would. Yes, they would. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yes, they would. Every day, Sophie wakes up and wonder, how is the rest of the royal family? Is today the day? Will they call upon me because of all of the talents I have? I mean, after all, there aren't many people who can run a PR firm into the ground like that of Sophie Wessex. Nobody can sit there with a fake chic and give away all kind of family secrets and pour the tea. Nobody could do that better than Sophie. Well, except for, Sarah and Princess Michael of Kent. I don't know what it is about that family, royal brides and fake sheiks. I could see if it worked with the first one. I could even see if it worked with the second one, because you just don't see that coming again. But 3 times they've had someone pose as a sheik. Oh, man. I think the tip-off should have been cash for access, right? That should have been your tip-off. But nope. They sat up there and sang like Aretha Franklin, telling everything they know. They unpacked their adjectives. What a wacky family. Connie Balmer! Connie Balmer. I've been sitting here looking at you, and I'm like, did I say hi to Connie Balmer? Hey, Connie Balmer. Thank you for being here. And, of course, the 2 dragon ladies. Kate need only look to the right, and she will see herself in just about, 10 years? 10 years? Well, she's kind of already that person manipulating things behind the scene. She'll never be as good as the dragon lady sitting next to her. But yeah, she has her own level of manipulation. They all do. They all do. But she doesn't have to do so much. She doesn't have to be as active because people run to her defense. Now, so far, that's been happening because, well, after all, she's been so young and so fair. Camila has been young and unfair. I mean, it's just unfair that she still looked like that when she was young. But Kate, she has been young and fair, and everyone has run to her defense. At some time or another, everybody has decided that they needed to defend Kate. The tabloid media, members of the royal family, and of course, even the derangers. But that is going to run dry. The more she starts looking like that person to her right side there, the less she's going to get away with being so precious with everyone. And of course, there is like all of the palace intrigue. We know that they are not talking. We know that Kate has been prohibited from wearing tiaras. We know this because they actually loaned out her tiara to Duchess Sophie, something that almost never happens. That never happens. It is presumed that that tiara is yours for life. And when you're gone, it goes back to the general royal collection. And sometimes those tiaras are not seen for 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 years. Sometimes you don't ever see those tiaras again, which means that the collection is vast. It is a huge collection of jewels. A lot of pieces have been altered. Some have been designed to wear in various ways. But there's one member of the family who doesn't seem able to wear any of them anymore, and that is Kate Middleton. And of course, I did point this out. Kate loves to wear that shade of blue, and so does Camilla. But Camilla is the queen consort, and so Kate is not allowed to wear it, especially in her presence. I do believe that there's been a couple of occasions where she has decided to buck against the rule. But for the most part, she does not wear it much. And don't think that that has escaped her notice that Camilla is wearing it now, almost to spite her. I love this. I love this. I mean, it's just, isn't it? It is a very predatory look. It is like a couple of raptors up in the sky, circling, looking for prey. A rabbit, a squirrel, a rat. They're looking for something. They are looking for something. It's all in the look, isn't it? It's all in the look. And this is what I meant. Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton battle over blue dresses, and what a staffer is saying now, there's reportedly been a battle brewing about when some royal ladies, like the Princess of Wales, can and can't wear a certain color. Now, Camilla's dressmaker is implementing a change. Interesting. And take a look at this. Zandy Sussex. Drip, drip, drip. Looks like she didn't get diplomatic reception in the separation agreement, alleged separation agreement. They still milking the fake cancer, allegedly, but we all know there's no way Lady Macbeth Kate would miss a self-promoting, that is, opportunity and a possible chance to wear a tiara. Now, this was sometime back in 2024. Kate Middleton to miss, or was that 2023? The annual white tie and tiara event, the Diplomatic Corps reception, is set to take place at Buckingham Palace tonight with King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Prince William in attendance. But the Princess of Wales is understood not to be attending. Now, I believe this was that occasion when Big Head Becky, Rebecca English, Big Head Becky, decided to tell everyone that Kate wasn't coming, and she suspected it had something to do with childcare. I forgot the word she used, but it sounded as though, she was saying they could not get a babysitter. That was what it sounds like, is that they could not get a babysitter. I think that if she didn't go, it would only be because she was out wandering through a field of grain. And this time she decided to wear that famous see through dress. I mean, if you're going to wander through the field of grain with a camera crew in tow, you should wear something, well, interesting. So maybe that's what she was doing. She couldn't go to the reception, so she decided to put on her revenge dress. Yeah, she put on that revenge dress. She put that look on her face, and she went walking through fields of grain and wheat or whatever harvest it is, hoping to make the front pages of the paper and take all of the attention. You know what? If she did that for real, that would be an attention getter. Hell, I would buy that paper. If I saw that paper at the shop, I would buy it myself. I would. Just for her to have the courage to go walking through a field of grain dressed like that. She hasn't done that since college. And of course, here it is, Windsor Castle. The king and queen gave a luncheon party for the companions of the most notable order of the Garter, at which the Prince of Wales, the Duke of York, look at there, even Andrew was there, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and Princess Royale and Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, and the Duke of Kent were present. What it doesn't mention is the Princess of Wales. How many times are they going to snub her? Now, she's welcome to go in the carriage ride in Windsor, right? For the visit of the President of France, Macron, and Brigitte Macron. Is Kate going to the dinner? So far, I don't think so. They only mentioned the carriage ride. I didn't hear any mention of the dinner. Is she going to be balancing things when dinner comes around? Is she going to, what's the other one? Is she going to be someplace recalibrating? Why would she miss that dinner? But all signs so far points out to she's not welcome to go to dinner. It's just like when the president of South Korea came. Oh no, it wasn't the president of South Korea. This was after the incident with the president of South Korea. She was available for, I believe, a luncheon, but she didn't go to the state dinner. There is something that is going on with her and Camilla. William and Charles have had a falling out, and she and Camilla have had a falling out. If you think about how many occasions that the Prince of Wales, now King Charles, has participated in functions with not only his mother, but his father too. William doesn't do anything with Charles. It's so rare. The Order of the Garter, sure, and a couple of other occasions, but unless it's something like that, they do not do anything together. I don't think William actually got on well with the Queen. I really don't. I'm trying to picture, have I ever seen William go to church with the Queen? And William snubbed his grandmother on several occasions when he was available and needed for things like the Troop in the Color. Oh, no, not Troop in the Color. He always makes that. The Commonwealth Day. I know he's missed the Commonwealth Day and a few other occasions he missed. But I don't think I've ever seen Queen Elizabeth and Prince William anywhere, almost anywhere. I mean, I see them when all the family is out, but that they're doing something together, I cannot recall. I just cannot envision that. And you would think that she would want for him to learn the role directly from her. Charles did it for a long time, but not William. And William does not shadow his father. Now, you can argue about the idea of having two, in the same place at the same time. I just don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. Yeah, Harry was always there for the Queen. Harry was always, and I do believe Harry was trying to protect Queen Elizabeth. I do believe he felt as though he was the only protection that she had, and that she needed protection from that institution. I think when she was getting really older, as he said, he wanted to make sure that the right people were around her. And you notice that the tabloid media, they did not press him about that. They pressed Harry about the baby's skin color. They pressed Harry about his security and his father's, withholding security from him. It's a few things that they have pressed him about based on comments that he made. But the whole thing about making sure that my grandmother has the right people around her, they did not seem to pursue that more than one afternoon, and they were done with it, and nothing else was said about it. And they'll probably never bring it up again. Yeah, and the way they created him as a monster was by leaving him to his own devices. They just let him run amok. And I think it was because they were afraid of him. As he got taller and more insane looking, I think that they were probably afraid of him. I know Charles is. I believe Charles is. And as for the Queen, I just think she did not bother him. He didn't want to be bothered with her, and maybe the feeling was mutual. I just don't suspect he had time for her. I believe William spent a lot of time with the Queen Mother, but the Queen, not so much. I do not believe he did. You never hear any mention of it. I've only heard mention of the Queen Mother having lunch with him and such, but the Queen, not so much. I know they said that on a documentary, but I don't believe it. I think it was only the Queen Mother. It may have been the Queen and the Queen Mother, but at a certain point, William was no longer available to either. SK says, Kate snubbed again at the luncheon where every working royal was invited. They only needed her to show face at the church service for the propaganda photos and then set her back to where she's kept. Surprisingly, Andrew was in attendance at this luncheon. The fallout between the two houses is as clear as day, especially Kate and Camila. There is a rift, a huge rift. Huge. I wish I knew what it was. If it wasn't for the invisible contract, you guys, there would be so much juicy information. I would probably feel a bit of warmth toward that family if they had just left Harry and Meghan alone and they had turned on each other and that the tabloid media could report it. Because then it would be like watching Dynasty again. But instead, they're doing everything backwards. There's not so much money to be made reporting on the Sussexes anymore. And that is why they're so frustrated. That is why they're like, oh, Harry, why don't you tell us what y'all doing? Where you going? Where you going to be? Because they don't have access. But the people they have access to, which is the rest of the royal family, they just won't talk about them. Everything is very hollow and superficial. But if they were to talk about the war between the two households, God, that would be some interesting stuff, right? And especially if they ever spoke freely about William and what he does with his time, and Kate and her lack of friends and what's happening with her time. I'm telling you, that would be a whole new season of The Crown. And it would probably be much better than what we've been watching the last two seasons. That is some good material. And they just won't touch it. All because of an invisible contract. I'm like, when are y'all going to be set free? Because I want the details. I want the data. Right? I want the data, and I want it now. And of course, from the pits of hell reigns Queen Camila, the queen consort. And even a child, the future king, has not escaped that cold, icy glance of hers. Only she could make the temperature of hell decrease by 100 degrees Celsius. Yep. She's like a living icicle. She's the only one that can take the temperature down in hell. And there she is, gazing at that innocent child. God only knows what she's thinking. You know, I wonder what look there was on the face of Kate Middleton when she opened up the papers and she saw this image. I wonder if she just about crapped her pants when she saw that. I mean, come on. Knowing how evil that woman is and that she's glaring at your child, that's enough to make the blood in your veins run cold. Okay. That's what I'm saying. She's probably just trying to figure out, how is she going to control him? Yep. That's what that look is. In the immortal words of of Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost, George, you in danger, girl. You in danger. George, you in danger. Yep, that's what they said in Ghost. You in danger. Molly, you in danger, girl. All right, let me go to the next thing. From the pits of hell, it is Queen Camila, the queen consort. Yeah, they're at war. Camila said, nobody wears a tiara. I will be the only person with jewels on my head for the coronation, myself and Charles. What did Kate do? She went to some milliner and had them cobble together this stunning collection of appliques. She got a bunch of bridal appliques that have been fashioned into what appears to be a tiara. I mean, to the untrained eye, that crystal collection of accessories is actually rather lovely. It has a very I don't know, Greek classical look to it. It reminds me of a laurel wreath. Oh, check this out. Major new solo overseas tour announced for the Duchess of Edinburgh. Duchess Sophie announces major trip in days as she steps up for King Charles. Well, in order to step up, if you all remember, she went down on all fours, didn't she? Well, almost. Remember when she did that very awkward curtsy where it looked like she was about to tackle him? Look at that. She looked like she was about to tackle him. Sophie carries out an emotional royal duty without Prince Edward. Duchess Sophie plans overseas trip without Prince Edward. Duchess Sophie's first visit since Princess Anne in 2015 appearance. She is going to Bosnia-Herzegovina. That's right. She's going to Bosnia-Herzegovina, where there's a bunch of women shaped just like her. Y'all know she got that old country shape, just like the old country. I mean, she's just screaming Soviet era skirt and jacket, a babushka, one of those little wiry shopping carts to drag behind her. If she don't look like some Eastern European neighbor of the let me stop. I don't want to offend nobody, but she definitely has that Eastern European grandmama shape, that very dowdy, low center of gravity, muscular shape of hers. Oh man. It's next trip to Eastern European country. That is so bad. Okay, I'm done. But you know what I think? I think she's going to try that blue jumpsuit over there. What you bet? That blue jumpsuit didn't go over so well here in the West. So she's going to wear it in Eastern Europe, where people will think she is the most cutting edge couture, haute couture fashionista. She gonna stuff that professor from Gilligan's Island. No, Skipper. She gonna take that booming Skipper from Gilligan's Island body and stuff it into that jumpsuit and see if she's not the talk of the town. Yep, she's gonna see if she's not the talk of the town when she puts that bulbous little body of hers back into that jumpsuit. I think they will appreciate that in Eastern Europe. I can tell you one thing, they damn sure ain't never seen anything like it. And come to think of it, in Western Europe, they haven't seen anything like it. That is the weirdest onesie I've ever seen in my life. The weirdest onesie. That's why her fist is balled up, because in case somebody starred with her, you know what I'm saying? When you wear something that strange, you have to ball your fist up because you never know if you're going to get into it with somebody. That that is yes, she is causing it, Reba. She is causing it. She is the last word of fashion. She is handling her business with that outfit. I just cannot believe she wore that to Royal Ascot. I cannot believe she owns it. Do you know I have never seen anybody else wearing that jumpsuit? And the hat. I think the hat, I don't know. It is a strange look. It really is. Even for Sophie, it's odd. And we all know Sophie has come up with some doozies, hasn't she? Also, you guys, if it's another outfit, I think that she may be able to that she could take on this trip is something that didn't work in Western Europe, but she might be able to pull it off in Eastern Europe. This one. Could you imagine her strutting into a banquet dress like that? This might work in Eastern Europe. I saw a documentary about 10 years ago, and they were talking about poverty in some of the Eastern European countries. And I promise you, I saw a old apartment building that had been bombed out, you know, since the time of Stalin, and you're gonna think I'm making this up, but it was an apartment building that had been bombed out since the time of Stalin, and blowing through the broken window was some curtains that looked just like that dress. The same pattern, I promise you, it was the same pattern. I think that pattern was very common back in the days of the old Soviet Empire because, you know, there was a limit to the variety of things that you could purchase in that fabric. Well, there are still quite a few women in the old country wearing their babushka. Okay, you guys. Let me stop. Um, uh, yes, she could wear that to the Met Gala. I could imagine Sophie wearing that to the Met Gala. Okay, you guys, I gotta stop. Um, there is some concern though, because occasionally when Sophie is out on these official royal duty calls, she has trouble keeping her car on the road. Sometimes she's up in the driveway, she's going across the pavement. There is always some issue with her motorcade. And so, because of the dangers, they have noticed ever since the announcement that Sophie was coming to Bosnia Herzegovina, people noticed that the streets are empty. The streets are absolutely empty. As a matter of fact, people are afraid to even walk down the streets, let alone drive on the road. So until Sophie's appearance in Bosnia is over, they suspect that most of the city streets will look just like this out of fear of Sophie's motorcade. Yeah, Sophie's motorcade has had several incidents over the years, and people are just afraid. They're afraid for their lives. They're afraid for their grandmothers. They're afraid. So the only thing that they could do is just abandon the main thoroughfares, and once Sophie has completed her trip, the streets will be bustling with life and commerce again. But for now, For now, it is better to just to abandon these streets and leave it to the British royals until they have completed their business there, and then of course they can go back to life as they know it. But for now, the streets of Bosnia Herzegovina, they're not safe. No streets are safe if Sophie's motorcade is on the move. Remember those horses they bolted in London that day and people thought it was the apocalypse? I think it had something to do with Sophie's motorcade. Those horses were spooked. And they just ran for it. Looked like they got one of them, but they okay, you guys. Let me get serious here. But yeah, good luck, Bosnia. You're gonna need it. Exclusive. After 116 years of strict tennis whites policy at Buckingham Palace, the king has relaxed the dress code for players competing on London's most exclusive tennis court, which hosted George VI and Fred Perry and Borg versus McEnroe. Well, I wasn't sure what they were talking about either, but there is a private tennis, it's a royal tennis court. See there, King scraps all white tennis dress code at Buckingham Palace Court. The color will no longer be compulsory at the exclusive court in London's biggest garden, where George VI played Fred Perry and McEnroe beat Borg. On Wimbledon's hollowed grass court, the almost entirely white dress code remains rigid as ever, but the king has adopted a more modern, flexible approach at Buckingham Palace. For the first time, players on the Royals' outdoor hard court in a shady area of the palace 40-acre garden do not have to panic if their whites are still in the wash. Charles has recently relaxed the previously strict dress code, with tennis whites now preferred but not essential for players who include members of the royal family, royal household staff, and their guests. Despite being known for his smart and formal approach to dressing, it is understood the king, who is rarely seen without a tie and never in trainers or jeans, wanted his staff and their guests to feel less restricted by protocol when playing tennis. So I guess that means at some point we may even see Kate out there trying to achieve a balance or recalibrate, or Kate will, whatever Kate does. And you know what? I thought that Kate only did this when she was in stilettos, like here. But apparently, maybe that's an old tennis injury or something where she just, does that little Jerry Lewis, ba ba ba. That that anyway. there you can see the tennis court. I didn't even know that thing was back there, but that is part of the palace garden or grounds or whatever. But that's the tennis court they're referring to. Who knew that was even there? I only just learned about the swimming pool. So Kate is ready for Wimbledon. She has done not one but two engagements, so she can do Wimbledon and without a guilty conscience. Is she still going to appear or not? I don't know. Is that over with yet? At that? So, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the shadiest of them all? It's you, Kate Middleton. You're the shadiest of them all. Didn't you know that? I mean, she is morphing into a Disney villain. She really is. She is morphing and be turning herself into a Disney villain. But she still has to get past the old guard. She still has to get past this one. She won't fully be able to, you know, demonstrate her lack of humanity. Not fully. I mean, she has demonstrated some of it, but we're not going to see the full effect until this one is out the way. Camilla, the Phantom of Versailles, is going to haunt the Windsor Castle soon. Yes, because of the visit of the Macrons from Paris. They're going to have another state visit. The Macrons are going to return the favor, and this time it's Windsor Castle. So who knows what costume she's going to wear next time. The Phantom of Versailles is going to have to give away to the Phantom of Windsor Castle. So look for that very soon. And also, don't forget, Kate is going to be in the carriage procession for the Windsor Castle shindig. Don't know if she's going to the dinner, but she'll be in the carriage procession. And I don't know what they have on the menu, but I hope they have a good chef, because if they try to have a turkey, they better remember what a tough old bird that is. That is some very tough, chewy, coarse meat. It's enough to knock all the teeth out your mouth. So if you're going to have turkey, if you're going to serve turkey to the president of France, the Republic of France, I hope you're prepared, because that meat will pull the teeth right out your mouth. Look at that wild turkey. Look at that turkey. Charles, 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 Charles. Buy my house next door, Charles. Anyway, the lasting nightmare image, and with this, I am done, you guys. This is the last slide. Again, Kate is going to have to get past this evil person somehow. And then, of course, she will be the next queen. It doesn't look like divorce is in the cards for them. And you know what? I'm glad for the children, because every child deserves mommy and daddy whenever possible. So even though it's, a couple of misfits, I was going to say they deserve them, but that's their parents. I'll just say that. Okay, so thank you very much, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming back. I still could not tell you what happened to my computer. But yeah, and it's not that, is this computer even a year old? Well, it's not that old, but it's holding up just fine. And I think it's still under warranty. So if there is an issue, they will fix it or replace it for free. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. As usual, I've had so much fun. You guys, thank you for trusting me to do this work. And also to the Lady Sussex, if you're listening, do know we love you and we miss you, and we don't want you to come back any sooner than you can, but we still cannot wait to hear from you. And also, you guys continue to pray for everyone who has been struggling with their health. And of course, it is a very stressful time as far as the geopolitical world that we live in. But as I always recommend, take a big step away from the nightly news and all of the bad news, because your worry will not fix what's happening in this world, especially if you worry yourself so much you're not here for the people you know and love. So we don't want you all stressed out and everything. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Take some time out to enjoy a walk or some project that you can work on or something like that, whatever distraction you can. Oh, by the way, did anybody look at the Vivian Myers documentary? I was just curious to know. Did anyone watch the Vivian Myers? That was your homework a couple of days ago. And I do hope somebody watched it. Somebody? Anybody? Anyway, I am done, y'all. Good night. Thank you so much. Just a little small talk at this point. Sandra, good morning. Jacqueline Rippey, good night, everyone. Good night, Baron and moderators. It's time for the 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 moderators. An extension. Well, this is an extension as I speak, because we're actually done. So I'm going to hang out for a minute or two. Good night, Dorothy Ross. Thank you so much for joining us. An extension. How many times have I said that to the electric company? Is it okay if I have an extension? I remember one time I was having trouble paying my electric bill, and I was making all these excuses. And the lady that I was speaking to on the phone, I said, look, I said, y'all, please don't cut my power off. She said, boy, you better come on down here and pay this bill. She said, I'm going to give you 24 hours. I said, all right. Oh, thank you so much. Lydia Washington has put the title up again. Finding Vivian Myers. Excellent documentary. And I think that documentary was nominated for an Oscar, was it not? Uh-oh. I don't think anybody watched it. Nobody watched it, huh? Well, that's okay. I mean, oh, that old bird is too tough for the menu, huh? Camila Ratatouille. You know what I think I'm going to watch tonight? I'm going to find myself to sleep watching. I'm gonna watch. What is that? The documentary about the poop problem they had on the Royal Caribbean. I think I'll watch that. I keep wanting to watch it, but every time I want to watch it, I'm usually eating and I'm like, oh, I like to snack and watch, well, eat a meal and watch Netflix, you know, but can't do it with that one. Oh, yes, Monday, that extension. Okay, you're right. You're right. I did say that we would discuss it Monday. The Vivian Myers will discuss it Monday. Of course, I'll be in forget by then. uh, I know myself. I'll probably forget. Thank you, Jacqueline Rippey. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. Okay, so that's the extension that you were asking about was for the okay, I'm so sorry I missed that. Okay, I'll ask a question. I've had a discussion with a few people. When you buy new clothes, of course you probably want to try it on, right? But before you wear a new article of clothing, do you wash it first or do you just wear it directly, you know, from Amazon, from the shop or whatever the case may be? Because, pardon me, I wash everything before I wear it. Underwear, clothing, bed sheets, towels. I wash everything first. As soon as I know I'm going to keep it, I throw it in the washer. I don't wear anything fresh out the package or whatever. I always wash it. Oh, Jacqueline Rippey washes everything. That is good to know. And I'm going to tell you why you probably want to wash your sheets. When you buy some new bedding, the reason why the package has a zipper is so that you can open it and see the fabric, you know, see the bare fabric. The other thing that they know that you're going to do is that you are going to rub your hand across it, right? Your hand is going to go inside of that package and you want to feel the quality of the linens, right? That linen, more often than not, that linen has a lotion on it, like a fabric softener. They add some type of softening agent so that it will feel more appealing to you. So visually, you can see what it looks like without the plastic, but you can also examine the texture of it. And so now that I've mentioned this, I'm pretty sure that you are going to wash your bed linens when you buy them brand new. I think it just makes sense. So let me see here. Star Reese, you wash. Sandra, only underwear. Okay. Connie Barmer, wash. Miss Z, definitely. Sandra, oh. There, let me see. Wash it. They use chemicals to launder. Yeah. Yep. I like to give everything a fresh wash. If it's going on my body, if I'm going to sleep on it or whatever, I need to put it through the washing machine first. Definitely the bed linen, Miss Z. Wash it except coats. Yeah, coats. I should specify. I don't do the coats. I don't do the coats. Coats, I'm okay with that. But the other stuff, definitely I got to wash it. Yeah, that's a good Tibbs. That's a good thing there. To and the coats, you don't want to wash that because sometimes the coat will lose its shape. You know what I mean? It might lose its shape. You're at least you can get one good wear out of it before you cause any trouble with it. You know what? Now that I think about it, I have a denim jacket that I don't think I've ever washed it since I purchased it. Of course, I don't wear it that much. Um, but yeah, I don't think I've ever washed the denim jacket I have. And there was like this hard knot inside of the lining of the jacket, and the pocket on the inside of the coat, it's like there's almost another pocket that you can use from the pockets on the side of the denim jacket. Well, I finally pushed my hand down in the corner, and with my fingers, I managed to pull out something that looked like a piece of gravel. Well, it's stone wash, so it they pelted it with whatever stone they use, and there was a chunk of stone about the size of, oh, I don't know, like one of those suckers that has the gum inside of it, the chewing gum. I forgot what the name of it was, bubble pop or whatever. It was about this. It was a pretty big size. It was a pretty big size, and so I would feel it. It never really hurt or anything like that, but I could feel this lump in the corner, like down by the snaps or the buttons or whatever. So I thought that was weird that stayed in there that whole time and just never came out. And I had that thing in there for like as long as I had the jacket. There's various ways to stonewash. Sometimes they use like I think they blast it with sand. Sometimes they use actual um like a file or whatever, like something to distress the fibers. So yeah, I think there's different ways to do a stone wash, but then there's the actual washing it with stones or whatever. Oh, okay. So a lot of products has that chemical. Yeah, yeah. The if it's an older coat, like the one that I use to run my errands with, that's definitely going in the washer. Yeah, like a nylon puff jacket or something like that. I probably wouldn't take that to the cleaners. Of course, if you don't take it to the cleaners, then you run the risk of the insulating material inside getting all bunched up, and yeah, it probably is better to take it to the cleaners. Okay, well, thank you for your responses. I was wondering about that. If I was one of the few people that actually wash everything before I wear it, but okay, I will admit I don't do socks. I usually don't wash socks before I wear them. So socks and coats, I usually don't. But underwear, most outerwear, well, most wear, and bed linens, um, and towels, those get a wash. Someone picked a set of towels from my gift list, and I just want you to know, if you're the person who gifted me those towels, they went straight into the washer. Okay, I have another household hint. If you have had an issue with your shower curtain, you don't want your shower curtain touching you, right? And there's already a shower rod. If you have enough room, you can get a tension rod and take it all the way up to the ceiling, which is what I did. Now, when I moved in here, there was already the shower rod, but I love the look of the shower rod that goes all the way up to the ceiling. So I purchased a tension rod and put it all the way up at the top. Do you know, it wasn't until Amazon that I discovered that you can buy shower curtains in a different length besides the standard, what is it, 81 inches, 82 inches, whatever it is. But I didn't know that you can buy shower curtains in any length. So now my shower curtain go all the way up to the ceiling, and I had to hem the bottom because it was too long all the way down to the floor. But it looks great. It looks great. I did not know that shower curtains came in any length besides the standard. I never knew that. Even the liner, the shower curtain liner, you can buy that. I think it goes up to 96 inches. 92 or 96, something like that. But yeah, but that is a good look when the shower curtain goes all the way up to the ceiling. And when you do that, of course, you're going to put it out further instead of having it touching you like the ones that that were installed with the house. You can push it out further. So now my shower curtain does not touch me. I hate that feeling. I know, right? I know. You can get any length of shower curtain. You can push it up. Now, I will tell you this though. I'm always like very worried about mold. So I leave the curtain open after I shower, and because I don't want it, that humidity in there. I want it to go away. So I don't close it all the time. But if I have company, of course, I always, close it all the way, which I would do anyway. But I want it to dry out as much as possible before I, pull it all the way from side to side and give it that whole, you know. But yeah, it's so cool. That is like one of the favorite things that I've ever done was to raise the shower curtain and make it where it's touching top to bottom, well, almost to the top. And also I pushed it out about another 4 inches. I pushed it out as far as I could without it, being unable to make the connection. So yeah, that is one of my tips, is to raise that shower curtain. You'll love the way it looks. And when you raise it up, push it out so it won't be touching you anymore. And just think how many years I just lived with that, like, oh, stop touching me. Howard Jane, thank you so much for joining us. So I think I'm done. I'm going to stay on another 4 minutes till we get to exactly 3 hours. And then I'm going to bid you all a good night or good morning. Anybody else have any tips they want to share? I'm trying to see if I can think of another one. But no, I think that's it. for now. Oh, Suzette Bailey. I believe Willie does live on the line. Read about himself and Jason Knopf his way to try. What is that? Proof to the public. He's all about Kate. Well, he's all about Kate. Big hands, no. Okay. He's all about Kate. Big hands, no. Well, anyway, you know what rhymes with that. No flapjacks, no pancakes, no, yeah, that's the rhyme. 'Cause he's all about Kate. Big hands, no flapjacks. If you know, you know. Well, my mama, she told me, don't worry about your size. I love that song because it's all about the bass, No treble. It's all about the bass, No treble. That was like my favorite song of that summer. See that when it gets to like 3 hours, I start getting weird, don't I? Oh, I think we'll have to do a members only when the rosé comes out. Yeah, I'll do a live with the rosé, but it must be members only. It will not be for public consumption. It will be for members only. Yep, members only. We'll have our rosé, and I'll have people call in, and and we'll do some good old gossiping. Great suggestion, Miss Z. Hey, Puzzle Dot. Good morning. Okay, and the countdown. We got 1 minute to go. Let me see. Can I think of anything else for 1 minute to go? Gee, I don't think so. Oh, and I got to pick a wine glass. I got to figure out which wine glass I want to use with my rosé because I'm going to take a picture of it. So it must be something very elegant. Yeah, when I get my wine, I'm going to submit that photo to the what do you call it? The As Ever Instagram. I'm going to try to make it look really good so Megan will share it. Okay, and it is 3 hours. Love you guys. I will see you next time. And as always, thank you, moderators, for making sure that this is the safest space possible. Cheers. God save the content creators.